Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Ada Nadia from class 4A. In this video, I will present about the utility of the metacognitive awareness inventory for teachers among in-service teacher. The material is from a journal by Helicalio Calivirta, Manicalio, Arja Virta, Vince Rudolf, Jaderma, and Justin Stanfeld. The first is table content of presentation. In this research, we will discuss about the first is background of the study, second is theoretical framework, the third is research methodology, the fourth is result and discussion, and the last is conclusion. The first is background of the study. There are six. The first is the present study is to explore the utility of the compressed version of the metacognitive awareness inventory for teachers, MAIT18, among in-service teachers. Second is lack of studying the metacognitive awareness of teacher in the schools. The third is self-regulated learning, SRL, is need for children to achieve the goals. Four is less traditional context teaching and more responsibility being placed on students with the application of modern teaching methods and learning styles. The fifth is lack of supportive rules of teacher in more learner-centered education culture, which requires SRL skills from students. And last is many factors in metacognition. Next is the theoretical framework. The theoretical framework is, the first is from Wilkins, 1996. Metacognitive awareness is an important element in learning and crucial to the development of learner's autonomy. And next is there are from Harker, Danslowski, Gracers, 2009, and there are from Scrown, Strippen, and Hartley, 2006. The concept of metacognition would be incomplete without consideration of self-regulate learning, SRL, since the literature often discuss them currently. And they are from Fonniodou, 1994, found that metacognition is an important factor in learning new concepts and transforming old ones. And they are for Fairmont and Perlops, 1999. The metacognitive regulation activities are orienting or planning before a certain course or assignment, mentoring or testing, or diagnosing and adjusting during a learning task or a course, and evaluating or replacing on one's own learning at the end of the learning task of a course. And last is from Falfields, divides metacognitive knowledge into three categories: knowledge of personal variable, task variable, and strategy variables. Next is their research methodology. The method is there are three. The first is participant. The participant in this study were teachers from three training consortiums providing vocational education. Second is measure metacognitive awareness inventory for teacher, MAIT, is in English. It was translated into Finnish for this research project using the three-step procedure. And last is procedure of analysis. The analysis of the data took place in two steps following the research question. There is the method of this research. Next is research result. Research of research. We can look the descriptive statistic and correlation of MAIT 24. The first there is factor item. Pearson correlation between item within a factor. Item 3 from the factor of the relative knowledge was removed since it was regarded as a difficult claim according to some participants. The next result is procedural knowledge. Item 5 from the factor of procedural knowledge was removed since it had non-significant correlation with other items in their factor. And next is conditional knowledge. Also, term concerning effectiveness in item 12 from the factor of conditional knowledge, and item 23 in the next slide from the factor of evaluating were regarded as confusing concept, and therefore, since it was too difficult to respond this claim for some participants, they were also removed. Moreover, the item 15, moment in the next slide, from the factor planning referred to positive value for the skewness and hence remove. Sign the item 20, moment in the next slide. I ask myself question about how well I'm doing while I'm teaching. Was regarded somewhat an unclear claim by research. It was also considered to be an unsuitable claim to measure monitoring. Sign 6 item, one from each factor were removed. The new structure of MAIT 18 was complete. There are the results. The 4 is planning. The 5 is monitoring. After monitoring the last is evaluating. And the next is the discussion of the study. Discussion of this study is the present study explore the utility of the 18 item version of the metacognitive awareness inventory for teacher, MAIT 18. The study point out the utility of the inventory in Finland in vocational education, particularly because the results show the solidness and convergence of the instrument. It can be expected to produce information concerning teacher metacognitive awareness. The study creates new use for the metacognitive awareness inventory for teacher in the area of vocational education, which is rarely studied. The result reveals that the original instrument had some weakness, and therefore it was important to adjust the item of the instrument by the compressing the entire MAIT questionnaire and hence to explore the heat of the factor structure. The last is conclusion. From this research, the present study explored the utility of the 18 item version of the metacognitive awareness inventory for teacher, MAIT 18. This study points out the utility of the inventory in Finland in vocational education, particularly the MAIT 18 enable the use of large sample in comparable studies internationally in different cultures of learning and teaching. However, a criterion validity should be estimated related to other classes. For example, cognitive performance factor simultaneously when assessing metacognitive awareness. The compressed version of questionnaire are required since the participants are able to concentrate only on certain amount of question. In total, since the 3-item structure is optimal to gain the reliability requirement, the MAIT 18 is of high value for future analysis. Now, the utility of metacognitive awareness inventory for teachers, MAIT 18, has been examined among in-service teacher as well. Comparative studies between in-service teacher and teacher trainees as well as longitudinal studies are prospective. Thus, funding reveal the utility of the MAIT 18 in measuring the metacognitive awareness of in-service teacher. Okay, maybe until here. Thanks for your listening and thanks for your attention. And the last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.